Christmas. I'll go and check Craigslist.
Oh my God.
Selling her old gear, 'cause
I am a complete freaking weirdo. I'm watching my own videos.
But this is the same old stuff. I haven't seen anything new.
I am a complete freaking lunatic.
A swan.
Come on, folks. You guys that make YouTube videos, you watch your own videos. I'm not the only one doing it.
Maybe I am. Swan 500. That was
what a weirdo! I'm self-advertising my own channel by watching it and showing you that I'm watching it. How about that, folks? What's going on? CLG here again. Friday night after work. Greatest night of the week. If I had my station set up, it'd be great. I'd be on there, you know, having a good time in 40 meters. Okay, folks, my little comment here tonight. Let me just shut this off. This is just too weird. God, watching myself on YouTube. Oh, I can't. There. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so a little comment here. I was watching the guy's video, his YouTube channel, talking about radios and the best radios to buy this year, and he kind of singled down on a certain brand, a certain model. I'm not going to say much else, but I agree a lot with what he said. I think two of the, probably for the price, two of the best radios I think there are on the market right now is the ICOM IC7300 and the Yaesu FT710. I think both of those are pretty good. So if you pick either one of those radios, I'm not going to go into technical stuff, but the guy was saying some pretty decent stuff about, not decent, but just some really good information about both those radios. But so I think between those two, if you're looking to get a new radio, you want to get something, those are, you know, $1,000, $1,200 each. You know, I don't think it's necessary to go out and spend all your, if you can't afford a 7610 or a 7760 or a top of the line radios, don't do it. I don't think it's not necessary. I'm obsessed with equipment, but I usually wait a long time before I buy anything because spending money on ham radio gear is a luxury, and I don't just blow money. That's why it's taken me so long to get the station back on the air, because there's other things more important than freaking radio gear. Like the one thing, you know, I guess put it this way, when I get the station up, I want it to work, and I want it to work well, and I know what works well around here. So the whole vertical antenna, the bill of materials that video I had on earlier, that's just me trying to work this out in my mind and just, you know, kind of go through and meticulously kind of pick stuff that I know I can install here that's going to work, and it's going to work well. But anyway, I'm not going to go over any of that stuff. I guess the whole point of this little comment today is I think we're living in kind of a golden time for ham radio. You know, like there's a lot of choices. There's the new gear, and then there's the older stuff like this crap. I shouldn't call my gear crap, but it's fun to say that word. So the DX100, or no, which one's this? Yeah, DX100, HQ180, old school stuff. You're never gonna see it. It's gonna be here forever. And you know, that class of ham radio gear. You know, I'm a big fan of old Kenwood shit, like the TS520, TS820, or 830, whatever, the 5s and the 8, the 520, 520S, 520 SE, 530, 820, 8, you know, those two models. I'm big fans of either one of those. And I think I gotta have a Kenwood lineup like that, one of the 5s or the 8s. Eventually down the road, but that doesn't have to be for the next year or two. I know those rigs are really old, but I've just always liked those. I've always liked those, and they sound good on the air. You can pick up a used TS820S for about $300. You can get an 830 for $300. They're cheap. They used to be thousands of dollars back in the day when they sold, but you can pick them up for almost nothing. And this is me with doing no research on some of the common problems with those radios. You know, they require some work sometimes. This old gear, the DX100 and the HQ180 and the other SB303, I think it is that I have, those are gonna require some work, some adjusting, some new tubes, some capacitor replacements, but that's stuff I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to do that, and you can do that with this old equipment. It's still valid, it still works. There's still lots of people on the air with this old gear, so that's another part of the hobby that I know nothing about, and I was never really good at maintaining my equipment when I was young. You know, I've told you the equipment I had a Helicrafters SX100 receiver. That thing got worse and worse and worse over time. It never dawned, well, it dawned on me, but I never cared enough to go, okay, maybe it needs new tubes, maybe it needs to be recapped. Never cared about that. I would just use the radios until they burned out. The Swan 500, when I first got that thing, it was great, but it slowly kind of went down the toilet. It just got worse and worse. I think the receiver got weaker and weaker. Remember that when I would hit transmit, there was a pause when I would hit the push to talk button, to where the relay actually kicked in. So there were some problems in that radio that could have been fixed, but I didn't care. All I wanted to do was get on the air. I didn't want to fix nothing. And that's not the way it is nowadays. That was probably 40 years ago, 30, whatever the hell, 40 years ago, I guess, sure. But now I have an interest, this last station I'm putting in, of doing it right this time. I'm taking the time to just to put the right antenna up, this old equipment, just learning about how those things work and how to repair them. You know, maybe adding some more equipment like an oscilloscope, some other old equipment that you need to work on these things, I don't know, whatever it is, you know. But it's stuff to learn about, and I need activity around here. I don't need to be sitting laying on the couch watching TV, which I will do fine, but having more activity, and this hobby can give me that. So anyway, it's just a little comment about, I don't know, probably nothing, but you know, radio gear. I'm all for the 7300 and the FT710. I think those two rigs are great. You can look up the features on that yourself. You know, they're all over the internet. And when I get that stuff running, hopefully I can put some videos up on my station up and running. The one last comment I want to make on buying equipment. So I had planned on buying that Yaesu gear probably in February. If something else comes up, if some other expense comes up that needs to be done, screw the radio, all right? I'm obsessed with buying the shit, but not so much as it's going to control me, and it kind of does at times. If that's a luxury that I just can't do, I won't do it. So there's that, because I think this hobby can be kind of addicting for people. I don't know. I just think that sometimes money spent on the radio should have been spent on something else that's necessary. I don't know what I'm saying. Moderation, I don't know. That's it, folks. Have a good night. It's Friday night. Welcome to the weekend. 73s, 100s, and 24s from your old pal, CLG.